Good morning, friends. Steve here, and today is another mildly gloomy day in the Pacific Northwest. And I've heard the term um, global warming, and I'm sure there may be that going on someplace other than here. But it appears that here we're having global cooling. It's just the temperatures just, it's right now it's around 60 and the sun was out for a little while, but it's kind of clouding up. And it's a good metaphor because one of the comments that I get on my videos um, fairly regularly is how calming people find it to listen to me. Um, Maybe not everyone, but that's what a lot of people, their feedback is, oh, it's so calming to listen to you. And that's great. I think that if I'm doing that for, even some people, I'm providing a service because the world of the world, the world of the world, the televised version of the world, or the kind of alarmist reaction in the world tends to be overstimulating. Basically, in the you know far distant past, people would hold signs that would say the end is near, and other ones would hold signs saying the sky is falling, and others would say put an end to war, or might say peace and love, or probably it was peace, love, dope in the 70s. We are in a radical time of change and shift on the planet. And people are feeling a lot of fear. And because the world that they might have felt more comfortable in seems maybe gone or leaving, then there's possibly a feeling of grief about losing that world. It may not have been the more recent world, but may have been a little world a little bit past where we felt like, well, at least I felt safer than I have over the past 5 years. And I would say that it is quite possibly true that the thing that people value the most is a feeling of safety. And the people that come here and watch these videos and come back and come back and come back is because these videos cause them to feel more safe in a world that possibly feels less safe at the moment, especially if you're watching television or paying attention to the news. And one of the things I'll just let you know, and I'm going to say this, and you're not going to necessarily have time to do this in your life, but I'm in a particularly interesting circumstance where I wake up in the morning and I have to determine what I'm going to do with my day. I used to have to get up, change diapers, whatever, get children to school, go off and work, come home, help with dinner, help with cleanup, help get the children to bed. I had a life like yours is possibly now. But now my life in some ways is more spacious, and I get to pursue my interests. So my interests are consciousness and healing. So that's why my channel is about consciousness and healing, because that's my interest. That's what I want to spend my life doing. And some people would argue and say, well, first of all, you have to have the belief that you need healing. And check, must have that belief. Or that others need healing. Or you have an experience of disturbance. And that's not a belief. Or it doesn't appear to be a belief to me. That you interact with another and you can energetically, if you can feel energies, if you're super disturbed personally, and you're withdrawn energetically and closed off energetically, and you don't even feel what's going on in your own body, then you're probably not going to be feeling that much going on in other people's bodies. And if you have blinders on, you're really not going to be paying any attention to the other person, because it might stimulate you to feel yourself. And when your focus is feeling yourself and feeling the world around you and feeling the interaction, energetic interaction between you and others, over time that may begin to feel safer to do. And then if you do what I've done, which continue on in the study of consciousness and healing, and are participating more and more in groups of people who wish to resolve more of their overwhelming events from the past, which are referred to as trauma. So trauma healing is getting to a place where you feel safe enough to let the energies of the overwhelming event or trauma come to the surface. And when you come out of your head and more into your heart, due to releasing and integrating fear, because fear drives us into our head. You know, people are always in their head, controlling, doing all that stuff. And when you learn to release and integrate and digest some of your previous fears, at a certain point, it allows you to go through this area of grief down to the heart. And in the heart, one feels frequently peace, compassion, and love. And if you focus on yourself initially, you can begin to feel self-acceptance, self-love, which leads to a deeper feeling of peace. And then if you are in relationship to someone who has felt that peace, that compassion, that curiosity, that self-love, when you come into a relationship with that person, you may begin to feel that in yourself. And it may not be comfortable for you to feel that, and you may have to withdraw and say, well, I'm going to analyze what this person's saying. I'm going to look in their background. I'm going to do a search on them on the internet and find out. We've done it. We've been there. So the point of this, if there is a point, is to understand that if I get on, and you can go back and look at some of my other videos, and there are times, especially back in October, November, where I was incredibly dysregulated and having to rely on my guide, Arlen, to help me come into a deeper state of regulation, a deeper state of calm, balance, groundedness. And I practice this daily. And why do I practice this daily? I can. That's one. I create the time to practice and this integration process so I can calm my nerve system down. That's why I don't call it a nervous system. I call it a nerve system. It's a system of nerves, not a system of nervous. We're used to calling it nervous system. A lot of people call it nervous system, but that makes me nervous. I call it a nerve system. That doesn't make me nervous. That makes me appreciative that I have a system to communicate things between my head and my heart and my solar plexus and my abdomen and my legs and my lower legs, my ankles, my feet, my upper arms, my lower arms, if you have lower arms, my hands, wrists. Opening up that communication between the different parts of the body, but at some point spending more and more time in the heart, in self-love, which then when you're in self-love leads to the love of others. You just can't stop it, even if you wanted to. Love of others, appreciation of others, communication with others, and attunement, where you become attuned to what's going on with others. And then you can receive what that other person is actually sending through their words. You can hear their words, but you can feel their words, and you can hear what they're saying. And what most everybody's saying is, are you safe for me? And can you accept me as I am? Which helps me to accept myself as I am. So we're not, as Thomas Hubel puts it, pathologizing everything, like turning everything into a pathology. I'm not comfortable around larger groups of people. Oh, you're paranoid. To end the stream of thought having to do with pathologizing our life and then living as a pathology. I'm not a pathologist. I live as a construct. I'm a healer. And I'm a student of awareness. My desire is to become more and more aware, and in the process, heal or resolve any things from the past that I'm carrying forward into the present with energy attached to them. And so I've taught the process of you get triggered. All of a sudden you're 3 years old or 5 years old or 13 and you're feeling these energies and you're maybe spewing words, you just don't treat me the way I need to be treated, whatever. And you're in that energy. And if you stop and say, okay, here's the story, here's the emotions that go along with the story, I'm going to put them in separate rooms, or I'm just going to separate them. And all of a sudden the story's out on one side and the emotions are on the other. And once they're separated, the emotions can release. And then the story no longer contains emotions, and it is integrated and digested as an experience, no matter how difficult the experience was. no matter how traumatic it was at the time it occurred. And I've had plenty of traumatic experiences that I've spent time working through. And there may be more. No doubt there are more. And when they come up, I know how to work with them. I ground myself. So let's just do this brief healing field. I'm going to look. Yeah, we've done this in 15 minutes so far, so I think that's good information. We're now just going to set up connect to a healing field, and we're going to state out loud, I connect to my deep self, and just feel that. If you can, feel it. Just feel it connecting to your deep self. I connect to my higher self. I connect to my highest self. I release anything that's not useful to me now. I put that in early accidentally, but maybe on purpose on an unconscious level. I ground myself to the healing center of the earth. I open myself to the healing power of the One. And I choose to work with the Hathors. I ask the higher self to take us through the portal of time to the event that would be of the highest good, release and integrate at this time. And I invite all souls affected by the event to release and integrate the energy of the event for themselves. And I ask that we all be placed in a field of protection while we do this healing work. And upon arrival at the event, I ask the higher self to assist us to release and integrate all energies of the event, gently and easily, fully and completely, on all levels and through all space and time. Okay, that's the healing event. Release and integration that we'll do today. And so I'm just going to speak for a few more minutes. When the events are clearing faster when we're doing them in a group setting. If it doesn't feel like it's cleared completely for you, then hit the pause button and come back to the end later. But things are resolving faster now. And so today is a yellow rhythmic seed, and the rhythmic tone is tone 6. And it's about organizing, balancing, and equality. We're very influenced by rhythms of ever-changing combinations of celestial movements. So astrology, it's just planets and stars, suns just moving in some sort of organized fashion through the galaxy, unless that's all a video and a matrix. And it could be both. A sense of balance can be achieved by accepting that life is a process, an ongoing motion requiring dynamic organization and reorganization, a sacred juggling act. When we organize the elements of our life, we invite efficiency and functionality into our reality. Organization assists us to streamline and coordinate, producing greater ease and equilibrium. May we respect the various aspects of maintenance as the foundation which supports the art of our life through the eyes of equality. All moments equally contribute to the sacred balance of our lives. We are reminded that this too shall pass, and this too shall return. And then there's a statement, may we see all beings in the light of equality, finding innovative ways to enact ever greater balance with the web of life. So the yellow seed, today is a yellow seed day, and it's about targeting, flowering, and awareness. Yellow is related to the south. It's related to ripening. And the yellow seed is related to the root chakra. And there's a person named Ariel Spilsbury who said, don't get lost in the entire process of manifestation. Just begin by seeking your heart's desire. All seeds hold a holographic power of their completion. Target. Seeds represent the miracle of life, symbolic of the living power of potential residing within all of us, waiting to be released into action. They demonstrate the creative intelligence of growth as ordered patterns of natural unfolding and reveal that majestic manifestation is encoded in the tiniest component. And there's a quote by the Venerable Dhyani Yuahu of the Yuahu lineage. Seed thoughts of peace, moistened by love, tilled by right action, weeds of discord pulled by diligent action. The harvest shall be abundant joy, sustaining future generations. So that's the Mayan calendar reading today. And if you feel like you need to work with the event we went back to, then hit the pause button and come back in a bit. But for those of us who are complete here now with the event, then I'm going to say the last words. I ask the higher self to assist all the souls that return to this event to combine with that part of their soul that had remained at the event and bring that combined soul back into the body with all of its wisdom, power, clarity, compassion, curiosity, and kindness, and with joy and love. I ask all the souls to ground themselves into the healing center of the earth and bring in the new energies that we agreed to bring in at this time. Through opening a portal for these energies to come through. And I ask that these energies also be activated, and I let the universe and beyond know that this has been done and that it's good. So this is what we do in the world healing fields. We go back to an event that is unresolved for us and others on a soul level. While we're releasing and integrating the energies of the event, while we're releasing the emotions off of the trauma, I sometimes talk about different things. This time I talked a lot before we did the event. But once we release the energy of the event, then we ground ourselves into the healing center of the earth, open up this portal, and bring in the new energies. There's just a few days in this month that are galactic activation portals. But next month, in the middle of the month, there'll be 10 days First of all, this Thursday, there's one of the auspicious days of Pakal, but next month, beginning on July 8th, and I'll be going over it by the time we get there, but beginning on July 8th, and we'll have, on July 8th, we'll have a galactic activation portal, and that galactic activation portal will be open every day for 10 days. And that first day it's open will be the 9th auspicious day of Pakal. So we're going to have a powerful, powerful month of release, integration, and download of new higher dimensional energies. Yeah, it still means it's good to focus on the now and keep working with things day by day, regulating your nervous system, using your breath to just calm your nervous system down, and accepting what your experience is. Okay, that's enough for now. I wish you happy healing and as much joy as you can experience this day. And I'll continue to be Steve and sometimes still say, now must go.